The track is called Life's a Lesson by Skeptic, who's from Redditch, who sent his music into us here at BBC Introducing in Hereford and Worcester.
If you're writing music in Herefordshire and Worcestershire,
upload your tracks.
bbc.co.uk/introhw.
And tonight, while we're meeting a Worcestershire band, for whom playing a gig together is a bit of a difficult thing because, well, they're pretty spread out on the planet. I was telling you a little bit earlier on that we're going to be meeting Rebellion Disco, who we played quite a bit on the radio as well recently. But this is their track Black Flowers that I played on the radio only a few weeks ago now. But their biography really kind of stood out to me because, well, they haven't really met. And I thought, you know what, it's time that we get them on the radio. And they've been chatting to you, Kate Justice.
Thanks, Andrew. Some bands haven't been able to play a gig together, let alone rehearse together, due to the pandemic. A Worcestershire duo have not played a gig together or even rehearsed together since their formation. Well, this is because their members live just about 1,000 miles apart from each other. Rob Bailey is from South Africa and many years ago found a like-minded musical mate in the form of Tom Riddell, who's originally from Worcester. Well, life got in the way back then, but last year they were brought together and are now making music properly together under the name Rebellion Disco. I caught up with them both, Tom in his flat on the edge of Birmingham in Sturchley, and Rob in the slightly sunnier clime of Tenerife. They've been telling me how this musical collaboration has only come together this year, despite not having seen each other in the flesh for the past 18 months.
I think February of this year, Rob initially sent me a couple of songs and he asked me to put some guitar stuff on them. And so I did that and I sent them back and kind of thought not much more of it. And then he just kind of kept sending me songs. And then the musical relationship kind of grew from there. So rather than just kind of sending little bits back, we started kind of working the songs together and I got more involved, and then we decided it was actually a thing. I guess it was probably about March or April this year.
Myself and Tom kind of go back quite a few years actually, and I've kind of heard some of the guitaring that Tom has done, so I kind of gave him the songs, and when he sent them back to me, basically what I was thinking in my head. Those songs that I sent him, we haven't used and we've actually shelved them. So Tom did all this work and I was like, hey dude, thanks for doing that, but I've actually written a whole bunch of new songs.
Tom, you're from Worcester and you're living just outside Birmingham right now.
Yes, that's correct.
Rob, you're from South Africa, but you're living in Spain, aren't you, or in Tenerife?
I'm living in Barcelona at the moment. I pop over to Tenerife quite often because I have a daughter that lives over here. So that's where majority of the writing of our EP and Rebellion Disco started.
So you've got this band that's spread out across the world during a pandemic, and travel isn't very easy, but the internet is very easy.
Amazing.
Was it always a plan to do it so remotely, or did you think in February when you first came up with this potential exchange of music and collaborative effort that you might be able to get together more often?
The plan was just for me to send some songs to Tom and then Tom come over to Barcelona or me come over to the UK and kind of work together from there. We're almost too scared to actually go into the studio together now because we kind of found this dynamic that has just worked so well, and it's so interesting how it's worked because we've basically been working on music since February up until now. I mean, we're working on a new album at the moment. We've known each other for a while, so we get each other, we understand each other's silly dumb jokes. We write together but without being in the same place.
This is the way everybody's working these days, you know, so why not?
When it comes to performing, obviously we're going to have to work out how our music translates to a live performance because we've not seen each other all play together. We're going to have to work that out. I'd describe it as 80s influenced electronic pop rock with kind of widdly solos is how we like to describe it.
The last time Tom needed to count on songs, we excluding the songs on the EP, which there are 6 on there, we've got like 52 or 54 songs that we're kind of whittling down to, I'd say 19 now. I had this kind of plan that I wanted to have something out by the end of February. But also, we have been throwing the idea around about performing online. So we just have to figure out actually being in separate locations, but still the sound being okay.
Unfurled and under the radar music
Hello, it's Hugh Stevens from Radio 1. If you're making music, then upload it.
to bbc.co.uk/introhw.
You could get played on this show right here,
Introducing in Hereford Worcester.
or on my show on Radio 1, or even land yourself a slot at one of our national festival stages, from Radio 1's Big Weekend to Glastonbury.